We've reached a significant milestone in the legislative session, the House passing its version of the supplemental budget for fiscal years 14 and 15. This budget is the seminal document that impacts our whole state and the delivery of government services. This budget represents a concerted effort to balance fiscal restraint and an abundance of caution with the actual needs of state government.
The Finance Committee was willing to make tough calls and hard decisions regarding the governor's budget. The supplemental budget recommended by the Finance Committee reduces the governor's budget by $53 million in general funds from the operating budget and $127 million in general funds from the capital improvement budget also proposed by the administration.
The Senate Committee on Ways and Means has released its version of their supplemental budget for fiscal years 14 and 15. Their budget would cut an additional $46 million from the House proposed budget and would cut $700 million from the CIP budget in 2015. The Senate version does increase funding for education with $2 million advocated for Strive High, a new school performance system, and an additional $5.7 million for early childhood education programs. However, on the whole, like the House, the Senate also reduced the governor's budget.
This cautious approach to the budget stems in part from the most recent economic projections by the Council on Revenues. When they met earlier this month, the Council revised its projections downward and projected that the general fund revenue growth would be stagnant at 0% for fiscal year 2014 and a reduction from 3.3% growth projected in January. Furthermore, the Council reduced its projections for fiscal years 2015 from 7.5 to 5.5. This substantial lowering of the projections is a result of small gains in visitor arrivals. This change in projection means that more than $500 million of the current $844 carryover surplus touted by the governor has disappeared.
Not only does the House budget benefit from the responsible approach, it also advances serious reform. Reform is never easy. However, the House Finance Committee has been willing to compel greater transparency in accounting and begin to change the culture of how government engages in the budgeting process.
Perhaps the most significant reform that the Finance Committee has established is a change to how the state funds vacation days for state employees. Previously, there had been a disconnect in the way vacancies and vacation payouts were handled by the departments and the way they were funded. Vacant positions were held open and the money that was allocated to these positions was instead used to pay for other departmental needs. In response to this issue and in an attempt to use more transparent budget practices, departments were asked to provide a more detailed and accurate depiction of their budgetary needs.
Some of the highlights of this budget include allocations for education, higher education, health, and public safety. The House budget allocates $14 million to the weighted student formula, which is set up to allow schools to use funds for their specific needs at their discretion. There is also $2.2 million for the REACH program for middle schools and other after-school programs, as well as $3 million for early childhood education programs.
This budget contains vital funds for higher education. In the University of Hawaii budget, there is $19.5 million allocated for faculty salaries, $1 million for facilities for the UH West Oahu campus, and added funds and personnel for the UH Repair and Maintenance Project. The budget also prioritizes health spending, with $3 million going to help those with disabilities for federally mandated services, $1.4 million for children with special health needs, and $1.5 million to help those with developmental disabilities. Additionally, $4.2 million has been added on to support social services that prevent people from going into nursing homes. Without this add-on, many more families would have to put their loved ones in nursing homes, which could cost a family upwards of $130,000 a year, which is too much for already economically stretched families to afford.
The budget also contains allocations for the promotion of economic and business development. A one-time appropriation of $500,000 in special funds has been made to the Energy Accelerator, an energy-focused economic development program that assists developing companies in formulating successful business strategies and attracting investment.
Public safety is another major theme of the budget. To support law enforcement and correctional management, $1.5 million has been allocated to improve health standards in correctional facilities, and $1 million is going to replace outdated equipment, such as body armor and vehicles.
This is a responsible and responsive budget. It's also a budget that continues long-needed reform. For more information on what we've discussed today and what's happening at the state legislature, please visit www.hawaiihousegop.com. Thanks for watching.